you able to find that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was good all the way around. He has to start up front with the protection, be able to give him time to hit some of those things, and sometimes you live by it and you can die by it. But our guys just executed really well, and we were able to hit some big plays on them.
How much better is Russell getting up recognizing when he has the right matchup or the chance to take that shot of seeing it next unit?
I think he's getting better each and every time he comes out here. I mean, obviously we had some really nice matchups in that game, and he was able to find them. I think he understands who our guys are really well. I think that's part of it. How they're going to come out of breaks, how they're going to, how fast they run. All those little things that kind of go into it. Like the ball that he put on Luke. Not the one that he scored on, but the one that down the seam. I mean, that's a great play. He had to put touch on it. There was free rushers on him. So knowing who his guys are, and then as you said, knowing the matchup, that he might be able to take advantage of. I think he's come a long way with that.
Is that maybe the best performance you've seen him have all around game, from throwing to running to orchestrating everything?
He does so many things good in so many games. I mean, you go back to that Washington game. I mean, he was a one-man wrecking crew in that game, and a lot of it was running, but some of them were, I can remember the third down play was a designed pass, and he moves all the way around, flips back this side, and makes a play. So I mean, he has special plays, but that game was very nice. I mean, he did a good job of orchestrating all the things we asked him to do. He was on point with his, for the most part, with his decisions, with his reads. He got the ball out quick. I think you can see that at times. Then he was able to, do what he normally does in the pocket, making guys miss or keeping plays alive. So if it was best ever, I don't know, but it was pretty good altogether. In that game.
And then what about these guys this week? Let's just mention the Cardinals, but they're pretty aggressive.
Yeah, I think this is outstanding defense. I mean, they gave us trouble last time we played them. I mean, player-wise, they have just great personnel on defense. From Quinn to Long to Langston to Brockers. I mean, they just have so many good players. Donald, the acquisition that they had in the draft, and so they have really good pass rush ability, and they can get there with four. They can and then Greg Williams is known for some of the exotic blitzes that he likes to use, and that he can bring pressure that way. So they're definitely. That bring their issues for us.
Rushing yards Russell has now is beginning to kind of creep up as one of the better in NFL history kind of thing. When you look at that total, do you just kind of came within the offense and it is what it is, or does it surprise you in any way at all?
I think, if you'd asked me before, I think it would have surprised me. But now, with what we do and how we're doing it, I don't think it does surprise me. Some of them obviously are design runs, and then there's a couple like the backed up play that was just a broken play, and he was able to take it right up the middle, solid lane, and he runs a long way. But it's just kind of part of who we are now, and so I don't think it surprises me that much anymore.
Jeff Fisher said having a quarterback who can do what he does running, it makes defending extra players. How much schematically is that an advantage to you when defenses have to account for that?
Well, it's big. There's some things that that we kind of take for granted sometimes that we don't think the defense can do, or they're willing to do. So. It's an advantage for us. I mean, it is having an extra guy, an extra player, and they have to defend him as well. So they gotta decide how they want to run their pressures. They gotta decide how they want to run their coverages, and we present problems that other teams don't.
Luke Willson's had to start the majority of the year for you with Zach out. When did you feel like he truly kind of settled in to do every snap thing, all the things you're trying to ask him in that role, where he really kind of started to come on.
Well, I think he's still getting there. You know, I mean, I think he's still growing. I mean, he had a breakout game, you know, receiving wise. Although I think it was a lot of fun to see him do that. You know, I even told him on the sideline, I finally believe he runs a 4.5. You know, first time we were able to see it. You know, he was able to run away from guys, and you know, and it was awesome. I mean, we know he has that ability, but it was cool to see it in a play on the field or in game situations. But he's still growing in all kinds of ways, and you know, he wasn't the the trained killer as a blocker, you know, when we first got him, but he's come a long way in that area, and you know, we'll trust to put him at the point and you know, and let him try to battle it out. He's done a nice job with that, and he's picking it up.
How big of a benefit is it to have that guy that can catch things down the middle of the field, down the seam, in the tight end spot, just in general as an offensive?
Well, it's huge, you know. To be able to have a mismatch on linebackers and be able to find, you know, to be able to try to find that. Then again, the defense has to decide, you know, okay, is the matchup with the linebacker the correct one to use, or do we need to start putting safeties on him, you know? And you know, then that does different things for us, and you know, then we have to, you know, look at the matchups, and sometimes it uncovers some disguises, and you know, and all those kind of things that can open up, you know, when you have a factor that's there in the middle.
Let's say he still texts with Zach Miller and stuff about things. How much is that presence, especially on the blocking end, helped him grow, just having Zach to kind of lean on?
I think it's huge. You know, first of all, tight ends have a great room. I mean, with all those guys, even Tony coming in late as he did, I mean, he's kind of fit right in with those guys, with Coop and Zach, and I think it's a very close-knit group. They hang together all the time. You know, they're walking in the halls all the time together. Zach's not too far from them. You know, whether he's in the training room or those kind of things, but they're always in you know, connection with each other. And you know, with the presence of Zach, you know, kind of the thing that he prided himself on and what he did so well for us is, you know, kind of being the extension of the line and you know, being kind of our hammer for the Y position. So he's just a great resource for him to have. And then he spent, you know, whatever it was, a year and a half or whatever, together in the room, and you know, got to pick his brain all the time, and Zach's great with those guys. You know, he's willing to give them all the tricks of the trades, everything that he has to try to teach those young guys.
Here to weigh in on the East Quake 1 versus East Quake 2.
I was only here for 2.
Yeah.
So that one was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd seen the other one?
Yeah, I've seen it, but you know, unless you kind of feel it, and you know, it's I don't know. I know that one was pretty cool though.
What's the feeling on the sideline? Because he ran right by you guys. So what's the feeling when you see him do something like that?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's amazing. You know, you're amazed, and then as you're watching it, you know, whenever he's running, you don't ever think he's done. You know, and then. You know, you don't want to take your eyes off of it, because even when 2 or 3 guys are coming up to him, somehow he can make a miss. He takes a different angle, or he throws a guy off of him, and so you just continue to watch, you know, to see if he's gonna, you know, come out the other side.
How did Carter Lockett grade out on that play?
Fantastic. You know, fantastic. I mean, the effort that he gave, you know, I think that just you know, a little microcosm of a lot of our guys, you know, and the effort that they're willing to go to, and the strain. We talk about that strain and finish all the time, and it was cool. I mean, you see him, you know, off the white, standing out of bounds, you know, hitting the 2 guys, and you know, then he still sprinted and, you know, caught up with Marshawn again, and was able to, you know, knock the guy off at the end of that play. And I mean, it's just great effort by him.
Good.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.